Happy birthday, Juju.
Thank you.
I like your Snuggie.
Yeah, I love it too.
Is that a Snuggie or a onesie?
Both.
Are you glad to be home? Yeah? You glad it's your birthday?
Yeah.
We got home from our month-long trip just in time for Juliet's 9th birthday. She was very happy to be able to have her birthday at home and was very concerned that something would happen with the travel plans and we wouldn't make it back in time. Even though the children did so wonderful while we were abroad, and they really enjoyed their time roaming the streets of the medieval city, they were all equally happy to come back home, back to some of their creaturely comforts, the things that they delight in and that they've learned to find pleasure in. It's an unwritten rule in our house that the birthday person gets to choose the menu for the day, and Juliet's breakfast of choice was bagels. This is not a food that you're going to find in Italy, especially not in the small villages. So I wasn't surprised when this was what she requested. We were able to enjoy such delicious food in our time away, but that doesn't mean we were able to enjoy all of the foods that we love. And Juliet's birthday menu was a perfect reflection of the things that she missed while we were away. We started with bagels, and it felt so wonderful to be able to bake with my sourdough again. Then we moved on to sushi for lunch, which is also something you are most certainly not going to find in rural cities in the middle of Italy. So we're delighting in the things that we're coming home to, at the same time being grateful for the things that we experienced while we were gone. So we're back home now after a month away, and it's spring. We left during winter and we came back during spring. And even though we're really sad to be gone, people have asked us, haven't they? Like, how was your trip? How does it feel to be back?
Mm-hmm.
It feels like an impossible question to even answer.
Yeah, it's too much to take in.
It's too much to take in. So instead of trying to take it in all at once and to make sense of all the emotions and wonders of it all, I'm instead trying to focus on what is so great about being home. And there is so much to be thankful for, and so much to just appreciate about being home, about being comfortable, isn't there?
Yeah. Being back to the familiar things, back into the routines and
That's right.
all the familiar stuff.
Yeah. What are you glad to be back to?
I'm glad to be back sleeping in my own bed.
See, that's something to be thankful for. Your own pillow.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the same thing our first few nights home. I just thought, I am so grateful for these sheets. They felt so good.
Yeah, I'm glad to have my guitar back.
Yes. Our family was without musical instruments for a month, which was a really big deal.
That was tough.
Yeah. Coming back to the gardens, to me, I've been really thankful to be able to labor. Even though we were working while we were in Italy, it was a different type of work. And I just felt so grateful to be able to kind of put my fingers into my own soil and to plant seeds and to start trimming trees and kind of start the spring work that's involved here on the homestead.
Yeah.
That felt really good.
Just some normalcy.
Yeah, and some normalcy for the kids too. There are so many wonderful little creaturely comforts that maybe we don't even realize that we have every day in our home.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is kind of actually an important point, and that's home is where you make it.
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many wonderful, comfortable things that you can do that they don't cost a ton of money. It's not about that. It's about creating a space where you're safe and a space where you're comfortable, a space where you're welcomed. One of the perks of being home is that you're able to have your own kitchen, sharp knives, all these wonderful pots and pans, and food that we love. And interestingly enough, I've said this before, I don't have a drop of Italian blood in my body. But growing up, the comfort foods that my mom often made were of Italian flavor. And if you ask my siblings, the one dish that was the most comforting dish, it was everybody's universal favorite, was a dish that we called macaroni and tomato juice, which I know doesn't sound enjoyable at all, but it's one that we really, really loved. I'm gonna make it because it's all about comfort food when you come home from a big journey. And I'd like to thank Bona Fortuna for sponsoring today's video. This is what I stock my Italian goods pantry with, and this is what I'm gonna use to make macaroni and tomato juice. Bona Fortuna makes it possible to stock your pantry with dried heirloom grain pastas, cold pressed olive oils, aged balsamic vinegars, honeys, tomato sauces, even prepared pestos and tapenades. Their pasta is made with heirloom grains and is grown organically, and they work so hard to offer something perfect to the world. Nestled among the Sicilian mountains, the farm is producing high-quality, traditional Italian cuisine using the best raw ingredients available. I've got a special link for you to shop with below. I highly recommend the wonderful puttanesca sauce that I'm using in today's recipe. It's flavored with olives and capers and garlic and oregano. It's fantastic. You can shop the link below and use the code Elliot25 for an exclusive discount. Quick side note, actually, I'm actually really happy to be back in cider territory. They don't drink a lot of apple cider in Italy.
No.
But we're in the apple capital of the world, and artisan ciders have really taken off here in the last 5 years or so, and I'm so grateful because I love hard ciders, and we make some really good ones here.
Yeah.
So I'm happy. That's why I'm drinking a cider with my pasta. Don't tell the Italians. But okay, so macaroni and tomato juice. My mom used to make this with just like a pound of elbow noodles, whatever kind they had at the store, it didn't matter, and V8 juice. And I don't even know what to say about that, but we loved it. I still love it. My grandma made hers with me. I didn't like that. I like it just straight up nostalgic like this. I'm gonna up it slightly by using Bona Fortuna's puttanesca because it has olives and capers, which gives us a little bit more of that Italian flair. But look, when you literally just can't with dinner, this is kind of one of those that you can't, you know? Puttanesca. I prefer the ditalini. This is my favorite to make. It's not macaroni, it's ditalini. And butter and salt and pepper and grated Parmesan cheese on the top. And that is it. And it is wonderful. And now that we're back in the home kitchen, it is kind of about home comfort foods, huh? So obviously there's so much for us to miss about Italy. You know, people have these wonderful soul places, places that complete a part of themselves, right? And we were lucky enough to find what that place is for us. But coming back, to me, one of the best pieces has been being reunited with the people here. It's, even though we have friends there and acquaintances there and contacts and personal connections, you know, our family lives here. And so being able to be back with them is a big part of that home. Yeah. That comfort piece of things. Yeah.
Even though you only missed a month, you do feel like an entire lifetime happened while you were gone.
Why does it feel like that?
I don't know.
It really does. Because, you know, you don't come back the same person. And I guess this doesn't really work for you, but I'm one of those weird people that actually live where I grew up. And so you go through all the different stages of it. It's so a part of who you are that it's almost weird to sort of feel this identity for home, for a place that's not your home. It's odd indeed. This is just complete, absolute sacrilegious what I'm doing right now, which is adding butter to my tomato sauce. This is not how the Italians do it. Even in Umbria, when you start to get up north, like where we were, it's still olive oil territory. You know, you get really far up north and it's a lot of butter, but we spent the month just devouring olive oil. I think we ate about 5 bottles while we were there for that month. But this is how my mom made it. This is how I like it. This is just comfort food. This is home. And I think this is kind of that's exactly what I'm trying to get at, is it's not about having this picture perfect anything. It really is about creating a space that you can enjoy. And, you know, when we first got married and we lived in a dumpy little rental house that we loved, and we were so grateful to have it, and we had that little teeny tiny back sit-in porch. And after work, we would just sit out there on the porch and talk, just to enjoy the space and enjoy the weather. And it's kind of those moments that bring you that comfort, appreciating the flowers, using the space that you have, making delicious food that makes you happy. Just sort of,
take much.
It doesn't take much. Isn't that good news? Yeah. I love that. Just like tonight's supper, because homeschool co-op today, busy week back, getting settled, not a ton in the tank left at the end of the week. That's what this dish is. These are the nights that this is for.
Yeah.
Look at this. I wonder what my mom would think of this version with capers. People have already started asking if we prefer life here on the farm or life in rural Italy. And that's not really a question I ask myself, because they're both incredibly beautiful in different ways. Here is where I am right now, and here is where there is so much to be thankful for. Maybe you have felt the same way too, a little torn between this and that, this place that you love and a different place that you love, a lifestyle that you love and a different lifestyle that you love. I think we do ourselves a disservice when we think it needs to be all or nothing. I love my life here on the farm, and I am so happy to come back to our dog and a field full of baby lambs, including the little bottle lamb Benny that my sister kept for us in our absence. There is just so much to delight in. And you know what? When we were in Italy, there was so much to delight in there as well. I think it's less about our circumstances, less about having it all right or being exactly where we want, exactly when we want to be there. And it's more about opening your eyes and being grateful for what's in front of you. This is what I'm reminding myself as we get back into the labor of spring here on the farm. There's new life, there's new beginnings, and we're seeing all of these things with fresh eyes because of our time away. We left when the chickens weren't producing, when there was only 2 lambs on the ground, when everything in the gardens was still brown and barren. And now we're coming back to tulips, to eggs, to lambs, and to the potential for all the work ahead. So even though it feels like we left a big piece of our souls in Italy, this wonderful community that we love so much, the reality is we're bringing our full soul back to the farm and fully engaging with what's in front of us now. At the same time, looking forward to heading back to rural Umbria in October with a group of guests for our first KV getaway. So it's not either or, it's not this or that, it's both. And it's having a heart of gratitude to be thankful for exactly where we are right in this moment. I'm glad to be back home on the farm. I'm glad to be back here with you on our normal video schedule. And I'm grateful for spring. Cheers.